Yes, people. It's your boy Shahzad. We're back again on the finished article with all things wrestling. We have a very, very special episode for you today. Shahzad took up my challenge of watching AEW. He's finally watched the first episode of Dynamite, and today he's going to give his thoughts on it. So before we get into it, before I bring him on, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you everyone who has subscribed already. We are now on the race to 200. And we are doing a prize draw on Sunday, as we've always said. But what that's going to do is anybody that's subscribed up until from the start till Sunday, everyone will be included. The reason we've done that is because once we hit 100, we did look at the subscription list, and a lot of the subscriptions are private or hidden, so we couldn't see them. We only got about 38 names out of 100. So what we're doing is we're giving people a chance to unhide it or make it visible, send us screenshots, show you're subscribed, and then we can do the draw. But we will be doing it on Sunday. We don't want to delay it any further. What I'll do now is I'll bring my boy Shahzad on. Yeah, Shaz, how are we? You ready for the weekend, bro?
Yeah, what's happening, bro? All good, alhamdulillah, can't complain.
Sweet. Yeah, so this is it, bro. This is the chance for you to explain or give your thoughts on AEW. But what I'll do is I'll go for a recap of that show. Because it was October 2019. So it's nearly, it's touching close to 2 years now. So I want to bring up those thoughts for everyone. So I'll do a quick rundown of the show, and then I'll fire it over to you and let you give your thoughts. Okay, so obviously, as we all know, the show started off with Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. Cody won the match, and then Jericho came down and attacked Cody. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Second match was MJF defeated Brandon Cutler via submission. Then we had a little promo from Jay and Silent Bob to promote their upcoming movie. SoCal Uncensored, so SCU, and the Lucha Bros were brawling before the tag team tournament starting. And then we went on to Pac versus Hangman Adam Page. Pac won via submission, and as everybody knows, Pac is Neville from WWE. Then had AEW Women's Champion Rio defeat Nyla Rose via pinfall to actually win the championship. So the AEW Women's Championship was crowned on the first episode of Dynamite. And you have Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz defeat Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks via pinfall. And it was what happened after this match that was the main talking point, if you ask me. Obviously, you had a beatdown. Cody comes out to even the score. Sammy Guevara comes out, kicks him square in the nuts. Then you had a run-in from Dustin Rhodes to help out, clean house, and then boom, out of nowhere, Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger in WWE, came in. Everyone got their ass kicked, and then you had a 5-man team of Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, and Santana Ortiz form the faction, which is now known as the Inner Circle. So yeah, that was the breakdown of the show, really quickly. But Shaz, I'm going to fire it over to you. Obviously, you've just recently watched it, so it'll be a bit fresher in your head. What were your thoughts on the show overall, firstly?
Well, first of all, as Shaz has said, he challenged me to come and watch AEW, and I finally managed to get round to it. And what can I say? The fact that it took place on a Wednesday night, which was live on TNT, and it was the first episode, and I have to be honest, it didn't disappoint. It was all out epic. I would say the ring work, in my opinion, was stellar. I mean, if we look at what we've talked about in terms of WWE, it was a lot more smoother, and in terms of presentation, everything was quite good. Can't complain there. The entrances were explosive. I loved the fact that it wasn't really much scripted, and reminded me of the old WCW matches back in the day. Whereby it was real authentic, and that's the reason we used to watch wrestling. I think the other key point for me was the bookings weren't really predictable, weren't super predictable. So it's not like you could say, "Oh shit, I know what's going to happen." Like we know SmackDown's on tonight. What's going to happen? We can pretty much tell because it seems to be like repeating itself. And I have to say, the best moment of the night was when John Moxley, or as WWE fans know him as Ambrose, attacks Kenny Omega. Now, obviously, having that sort of affiliation with WWE, I kind of enjoyed that. And then obviously Jericho, we know what a legend he is. So overall, for me, a fantastic night. I mean, in terms of things that I found a bit negative, the mic work and promos were a bit awkward. It's kind of like looking at Roman Reigns at the start when he's trying to give a promo, and you're like, bro, seriously, don't even bother. Commercial breaks for me were a bit irritating, distracting.
As always in wrestling, bro.
I thought maybe something might be different, but as Shaz said, it's pretty much common. And
you have the two screens, like the adverts, and then you've got the match or whatever's happening on the show. Like, so you've got two, like kind of us on screen now. We're split. They do the split screen adverts in AEW, just like they do on NXT and WWE.
Yeah.
I think it's quite silly, because during that break, obviously the match is ongoing, but that part of the match is very slow, so you don't really need to watch it. But that's not me critiquing AEW. That's just me critiquing, WWE and AEW, because they both do it.
I mean, the only other problem I'd say, and I think it's a common problem in wrestling, is that there were some in-ring botches. So the Rose Rio match that was on, they had multiple issues in terms of like the size difference between competitors. So we talked about this on a couple of podcasts, that we said that certain characters make styles, and this is probably something that just looked a bit odd, because it's like saying the two dynamics don't really work well together. But I mean, apart from that, can't really complain. Glad I got into it, and we'll have to see how it goes going forward.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So I'll ask you a couple of questions, bro. First match of the evening, Cody versus Sammy Guevara. What were your thoughts on that match overall? Obviously, I know Cody won because obviously he's the bigger name. Sammy Guevara is the young, up-and-coming rising star in AEW. He still is at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Apologies, sorry about that.
It's all right, bro.
I'd never really seen Sammy Guevara wrestle until I'd watched that first episode.
Same here, bro.
I think I mentioned this to you the other day. And I thought it was a great match. I can't really complain. It was end-to-end. Yes, Cody Rhodes won, but they at least gave me that suspense that I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
Cody Rhodes, I like the fact that he's reinvented himself, come back to AEW, and he doesn't look much of a chamcha. So for those that don't know,
I don't know if you know, Shaz, but for AEW, Cody, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks are EVPs, executive vice, whatever they are. So they're them four, and Tony Khan, who's the money behind it. They run the show, so they run the company.
Yeah,
and I don't want to ruin it too much for you going forward, but there's a lot going on with the Cody Rhodes character. I mean, once he left WWE, he went to Ring of Honor, he went to New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's where he met the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Adam Page and everybody else. And that's where he reinvented himself as the American Nightmare, which is obviously the opposite of what his dad was, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And as you can see, he's got the tattoo on his chest that says Dream. That's a tribute to his dad. But yeah, I mean, I really do like the Cody Rhodes character.
I like the blonde hair. It suits him.
Yeah,
It's
it does, doesn't it, man? It does, definitely.
something different, and
It does,
he
bro.
actually
It does.
it made him stand out as opposed to what we've seen in WWE,
Mhm.
where he was like a under was it Randy Orton's henchman or like little lackey run around out there.
Yeah, and
But
then they had him do the Stardust thing as well, which
yeah,
I'm going to be honest. A lot of people said it was really bad, but he did really well as that character. He played it really well because he was a heel type of character, and it was really good. And they actually used him in they used Cody Rhodes in a TV show called Arrow.
okay.
He made an appearance in there whilst he was Stardust. I don't think he played the Stardust character. I think he just played a villain in that show for a few episodes or an episode or two. But secondly, Shaz, question: what do you think of the way Chris Jericho has obviously reinvented himself yet again?
I'm glad you mentioned that. So that's one of the things that struck me as really revealing, because having watched him. Okay, so I've watched clips of him in AEW because you'd often ask me to watch it, and then I watched the full episode, and I have to say, this goes back to the problem with the writers in WWE. What you've just done is we all know what Chris Jericho is, living legend. We know what his first promo was against The Rock in WWE.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Now, if you look at that compared to what he was towards the end of his career at WWE, it's a complete transformation whereby, because of the whole, and you feel free to disagree, the PG, it's almost like they literally ripped the soul out of the wrestling. It's
It
Vince
does,
is
bro.
like
It does.
just destroyed it. But
100%.
overall, really
100%.
impressed. Love his character, love his ego, and was glad to see the originality. If that
Yeah,
makes
no, I mean Jericho's gone and reinvented himself so many times. Um, so from WCW to WWE to being the first undisputed champion to being what was he called, the best in the world at what I do.
yeah,
Um, then he came back as with the cord breaker with his new move,
yeah,
or the Savers gimmick or whatever that was. And then he came back again as his most recent WWE run where he had the list of Jericho,
yeah. I remember.
which I found it great. That was some great creative, and I think Chris Jericho had more input into that creativeness, and that's the difference between WWE is that AEW give the character or the person playing the character more creative over them.
You know why? I'm glad you mentioned that. So for me, what they've said is, look, you're an industry expert. You know what you guys are talking about. So you tell me how you want to portray your character. So like you just said, they said Chris Jericho, you know the drill. Go sell it. And then basically what he does, he
Exactly,
vibes
man.
it and he works it work. But before we carry on, Shaz, a big shout out to our Mayan man, Ryan. Thank you very much, bro. Much
Yes,
appreciated.
bro.
Thank you very much for the beautiful comment. As always, much appreciate the support.
Hundred
But yeah,
percent, 100%.
yeah, sure. So I mean, going back to what you said, great to see him back. And let's see how the rest of the other episodes turn out.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you'll see it in the next episode. There's a bit of a promo where obviously the inner circle come out and they talk about why they formed the faction and blah blah blah. And when Jake Hager stood there, the people are shouting "We the people," which was part of his old gimmick in WWE, if you remember. And Jericho absolutely rips it. He goes, "We the people is dead and buried. That was a bad creative decision." And he just absolutely ripped WWE to pieces with it. And a lot of the people do it, bro. So when Rusev, obviously he's in AEW, but when he debuts in AEW, he mentions WWE as the brass ring, and he says you can shove it up your, where the sun
Yeah,
don't shine.
exactly. So you know what's happening now is, and this is where Vince has kind of let the ball slip, or as I used to say, as I said on the podcast a while back, they never really had the ball. You've now got great talents going over to other factions and literally disrespecting you. That's like me leaving my company and going to someone else saying, "Oh, this such and such was."
Bro, that's like Harry Kane trying to leave Tottenham, bro.
That we'll talk about later. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So compare WWE right now to an episode, and any episode of WWE or NXT, Raw, whatever, to that episode that you've watched of AEW. Which one would you prefer?
So if you're asking me to compare episode 1 of AEW with today's current generation of WWE that we've seen over the last couple of years, AEW completely smashes it out of the park.
Exactly,
if I had to go back to classic era, then for me WWE still holds.
Oh no, 100%. Classic WWE, the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
No one can touch that. That was a different level on its own, bro.
Yeah.
But
correct.
right now, product wise, AEW is beating WWE.
Yeah.
Promo wise, they're giving them more freedom to say what they want. They're killing them. Match wise, WWE are losing as well. I mean, AEW's matches, some of them are brilliant, bro. Even just on Dynamite, bro, they're having great matches. And then when they bring out the other shows, that the YouTube shows, Elevation and then Dark Elevation, those are two other shows which, so you have Dark Elevation on the Monday, and then Wednesday you have Elevation. And the matches that they're having on there are, they're not the best, but they're not repeating matches week in, week out, or they're not repeating a match from Monday to Thursday to Wednesday. Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday.
That was kind of the feeling. So, and I know it sounds funny, but when John Moxley came out and attacked Kenny Omega, for me that was a standout moment because
that was a standout moment for me. I absolutely
vibed off it.
I vibed off it because I enjoyed John Moxley's character in AEW.
Yeah.
The way he was portrayed in WWE, right? They wouldn't let him do what he wanted with that character, and that's why that character in WWE failed.
Yeah.
Or the way they wanted him to be failed, because it's not what he wanted.
Even now, for me, and I don't know if you disagree or agree with me, but Seth Rollins, for me, is completely from them. They've turned him into a clown. So
they've turned him into. I'm not even going to say what I think they've turned him into, bro. Bloody hell.
You understand what I mean, right? So they turned him into, like, going out.
You had this. So you've had Seth Rollins, right? As what he was known as, it was Seth freaking Rollins, bro.
Yeah.
And he was a babyface, he was a heel. Either way, it was a great character. He cut great promos as that character. And I don't know what they've done with him as the Messiah or whatever gimmick, or see the vision and all this bull crap. When it first started, I thought this is a bit weird, because it started the same time as the TV show on Netflix, The Messiah.
Okay.
It started around the same time that TV show came out, so they're trying to capitalize on the buzz from the TV show on WWE, but that's not how you do gimmicks and stuff. But we'll talk about it some other time, bro.
Yeah.
And now they've got him as this. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe the character right now. If I was Seth Rollins, I'd be looking to run my contract down and leave. He could go to AEW, he could go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, he could go to Ring of Honor, he could go anywhere, as obviously his other persona, which was Tyler Black in Ring of Honor and stuff like that. And he'd absolutely smash it out of the park. Because the best Seth Rollins we saw was the Seth Rollins that had the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
Where he, the heist of the century, or the heist of the decade, as it was mentioned on WrestleMania. That Seth Rollins that won those world championships, that was a Seth Rollins that people enjoyed, and that's a Seth Rollins that I want to see back. Not this watered down, I don't even know, this garbage that they've got him as the Messiah.
Exactly,
I don't know where they're going to lead with this gimmick.
Well, nowhere really. I mean, literally, you're wasting it. You're wasting talent for players. But that's just one comparison. If I had to,
you watched the AEW show. So what did you think of the Young Bucks, bro?
Yeah, really good
the tag team. Yeah, the good tag team, man.
A great tag team. I hadn't seen a decent tag team in a while, so for me that was refreshing. Enjoyed it. I think they worked well together. And I'm interested to see how the rest of the story unfolds, but don't spoil it for me.
No, that's why I've not really mentioned much of what is happening in AEW to you, bro. Because I want you to watch it yourself, and I want you to catch up, bro. So then we can talk about what's happening together, man.
Yeah, so stay tuned, guys. We're going to do more reviews.
What you should do now, bro, is watch the next few episodes, and then watch the next pay-per-view or the first pay-per-view whilst they've been on TV. Obviously, they had the few pay-per-views before they got the TV deal. That's when obviously they crowned Jericho as the champion and whatnot.
Yeah.
But watch the tag team tournament, bro. That's absolutely killer. Some great tag team matches. The difference with AEW and tag teaming is it's a 10-second rule instead of 5 seconds when you tag. And you know the rope that you have to hold as the tag team in WWE. I don't think AEW they don't use that. But when FTR, the revival came in, as part of their contract, they've put it in that we will use that tag team rope.
Fair enough. I'm good with that.
But man, you need to catch up, bro. First pay-per-view, I think, is Full Gear. I think it is. I can't remember, man. I think it's Full Gear. But watch what happens between the Inner Circle and Cody Rhodes, along with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. They're a faction already, if you don't know. Outside of AEW, in New Japan Pro Wrestling and other promotions, they're known as, well, they're part of the Bullet Club. But they're a separate division of the Bullet Club called the Elite, which is Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and I think it was Adam Page as well. So just watch what happens going forward, bro. You're really going to enjoy that storyline if you get into it. Watch the Lucha Bros, bro, when they wrestle. Okay. Watch their moves and look out for Rey Fenix, bro. I'm going to mention Rey Fenix because he's high flying, his in-ring ability, man, is absolutely amazing, bro. Who else you need to watch out for, man, in AEW? Pretty much everybody is good in AEW, man. I mean, I don't think any of the matches have been, below par for me. Most of the matches that I've seen there are good. I don't really watch much of Dark Elevation and Dark. I try and stick to Dynamite because that's obviously their main show. That's where the main things happen. And another person that's in AEW, he's not quite big yet, is Dolph Ziggler's brother.
Okay.
So obviously Dolph Ziggler in real life is called Nick Nemeth, and his brother is called Ryan Nemeth, and he's in AEW. And he's actually a good wrestler, bro. So when he starts popping up, watch out for him, bro.
I will do, definitely.
Any other comments, bro? Match wise, promo wise, anything?
No, I think we pretty much covered. I just wanted to come and give you my thoughts.
Yeah, man.
I know it's been a much awaited show.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I've been waiting a long time for you to watch that first episode of AEW, bro. Yeah. But one last thing before we go, bro. What were your thoughts on actually being able to hear JR commentate again?
Beautiful.
That takes you back them years, bro, doesn't it?
It was like magic to my ears.
So, do you know what it reminds me of? The commentary team. You've got JR, which was WWE, and then you had Tony Schiavone, which was WCW. Mm-hmm. So it goes back to the Monday Night Wars to me. Yeah. But you're hearing both of them on the same show, and it's absolutely mental, bro. And that was the first episode of wrestling on TNT since 2001, bro.
It's amazing. That's crazy.
17, 18 years, bro. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. Looking forward to catching up with the rest of it. But
bro, you're in October 2019. We're in August 2021, bro.
I know, that's why I said it's gonna be beautiful because I got plenty to
the thing is though, after each episode, if you want to watch the next, you can just jump onto the next one straight away. Especially when something good happens, so you're gonna enjoy it, bro.
I'll just catch it because I don't have to wait a week. I just play.
That's it. You're gonna enjoy it, bro. You're gonna enjoy it. Watch out for Jungle Boy. Might sound like a silly name, bro. He's part of a group called Jurassic Express.
Okay.
So there's Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt, and a wrestler called Luchasaurus.
Okay, cool.
Who has he has a mask on, but they're all good. I wouldn't say Marco Stunt's a wrestler per se, but he does wrestle from time to time. But it's mostly Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus that are the wrestlers there. But they're good. There's other names that I want to bring up, man, but I can't even think. They've got a big roster, man. They've got a really big roster.
Nice. We'll definitely have to check it out.
And watch. I don't know if this is going to be on the next paper. It's not. You've probably missed it. It's on the pay-per-views before they got the TV deal.
Okay.
Watch the match of Cody Rhodes versus his brother Dustin Rhodes.
Okay.
And whilst you're watching AEW, just watch Dustin Rhodes. Obviously, you knew him as Goldust, but he's Dustin Rhodes, the natural Dustin Rhodes, whatever he is. It's like he's reinventing himself as his new character, but then he's changed his in-ring ability. Like, it's gone up a notch, bro. And at his age, to bring it up that notch, bro, it's crazy. You'll enjoy watching him, bro.
Nice. We'll definitely have to check it out, but we won't spoil it for the viewers because we're back with another review.
Yes, bro. So I'll let you watch, obviously, the next few episodes. Watch the first pay-per-view. I think it is Full Gear, if I'm right. And then once you've watched that, let me know. We'll schedule an episode. We'll get your thoughts on that pay-per-view and obviously the build-up to it and what you think might happen next. And then obviously you can just carry on watching it, bro.
Nice one, bro. Nice one.
So we'll keep doing it until you catch up, bro, because it's good to get your thoughts as you're watching it. I never got to do that because we didn't have the podcast when AEW came out. Yeah. I never had the chance to come online and give my thoughts on how good I thought it was or how bad I thought something was. Or I can only do that with WWE. And you know what I'm like, bro. When I start, bro, on WWE, you go and get your cup of tea and come back, and I'm still going.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, yeah, man, we'll get on to another episode like this. We'll get your thoughts on the first pay-per-view and the build-up to it in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, you've got work and everything, so take your time, bro. Catch up on it. Maybe, bro, once you get to the pay-per-view, come round here and we'll watch the pay-per-view together.
That's not a bad idea. We'll sort something out.
We'll watch the pay-per-view together and then go online and do the podcast straight after, bro.
Done, bro.
Yeah. Well, we'll do something like that, man. Even if it's obviously, even if you want to watch a couple of episodes and do a podcast, you can do that, bro. Whatever. But yeah, we'll definitely get onto something, bro. But watching the first pay-per-view of AEW with you, man, that'd be good, man, because I've already seen it, but it's been such a long time. I've not obviously rewatched it since.
Yeah.
So it'd be good to rewatch it again and go through them moments again, obviously with yourself, because it's your first time watching it. So your reactions are going to be, different. Obviously, they're going to be different to mine because I'm like, oh, yeah, that happened. But you're going to be like, oh, shit, yeah, that's awesome.
No, I look forward to doing that. We'll have to sort something out.
Yeah, man. Maybe next weekend or something, we'll do an AEW catch-up so we can, or something like that.
Oh, bro, for sure.
But, bro, we'll wrap it up, bro. I know you've obviously got a busy weekend coming up, so don't want to keep you too long on the podcast. We'll wrap it up. I'll let you give your final thoughts and then we'll just wrap it up, bro.
No, as always, I appreciate the fact that Shaz has let me come on and air my thoughts on the first episode. We will be doing this on a more regular basis, so stay tuned for my reactions on AEW, and we obviously will be watching WWE, so I'm sure we'll be having some rants and bants of word it. And as always,
bro, just wait till SummerSlam. If anything goes tits up at SummerSlam, bro, that's it. Monday evening after work, I'm gonna go sick.
It's already gone tits up, I can tell you right now.
Look, bro. If John Cena wins that title from Roman Reigns, you know what's happening on the next episode after that on this podcast. You're gonna be having You're gonna be having your headset in with some music. And you've been like, right, Shaz, you just say what you want to say, bro. And you'll be like, see you in a bit, bro. I'm gone. You just put it on freeze frame. You'll just put it on your camera frozen and you'll be gone, bro. And then you'll ring me an hour later, Shaz, are you done yet? And I'm like, nah, I'm still going, bro.
We'll have to see, but stay tuned for that. But guys, as always, as Shaz says, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. We are on the race to 200, and a big thank you to those that helped us get 200 subscribers. As Shaz has mentioned, we are going to be doing the prize draw this Sunday for the lucky 100 subscribers. So get your subscriptions in if you haven't already done so. And always, for those that have subscribed, please make your profile visible so we can add your name to the draw. Or as a couple of mates have already done today, please send myself or Shaz your screenshots. You can find our Twitter handles below. So if you need to reach out just for comments or thoughts on the show or what you'd like to see us cover next, give us a shout. And as always, add us on our Twitter handles there below the finished article on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in on Friday evening. Stay safe, have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you soon. Take it easy.
Take it easy, peeps. Too sweet. You'll see a lot of that in AEW as well.